Welcome back to my channel, you guys. It's me, CMZ News, here to give another recap of Vanderpump Rules, Season 10, Episode 8. Now, if you haven't checked out my previous recap of Sheena's podcast of Shenanigans with her and Lala Kent, I do recommend you listen to that. It gave some really good insight on what happened with Sheena at court, what happened after Watch What Happens Live, as well as some tea about the reunion and Raquel's reaction, what Tom was like, and things like that. So with that said, before we get into the recap of this episode, go ahead and please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Now, please forgive any background noise. You can hear my daughter giggling. They turned off the TV, but my husband's gonna read her book. Okay, so this episode, it was okay. It was a lot of fluff, but whatever, I watched it. So it starts off with James and his dad. James is like working on some music and his dad comes in, and then they show like Brock and Sheena and they're like planning the wedding chart. And then they have a little quick scene with them saying like how they're gonna sit Raquel next to Peter and Joey, the rumored guy that she like hooked up with in Coachella, but we all know that's a lie. Then they go back to James, and Allie is going to go hang out with the girls, and James like giving her a kiss. He's like, show me your outfit before you leave. I don't know, I think that's a little weird. Well, is that weird? I don't know. I mean, I like to show my husband what I'm wearing before I leave, but I almost feel like James wants to like check that she's on point, but whatever. So James and his dad talk sobriety. Now remember, James's dad was really big in the music industry. George Michael was one of his clients. That's James's godfather, R.I.P. Gotta have faith, faith. R.I.P. George Michael. And they discuss, how hard it is being in the industry and not drinking. His dad's like, I don't know how you do it. And his dad also mentions that he didn't see things going the distance with him and Raquel, but he sees like that things are different with Allie. James also says that like Raquel was on his turf. And he mentions that like a lot this episode. He has, James has always kind of like struggled with his place in this group. Like he fought to be in this group. I mean, he literally got with Kristen specifically to be in this group. So the fact that like Raquel's like the little it girl right now, I think that really bothers him because he wants to be the it girl. Like no shade, but like James wants to be like the number one guy in the group. And I think he sees it slipping, so I don't know. Then we go to a little tasting at Short and Sandy's. Katie is there. Greg wants an upscale food menu. So they try like lobster corn dog, crab beignets, just to name a few things. It looks good. No really big to do there. We shoot over to Allie, Sheena, and Lala and Ariana all at lunch. And they're talking about Raquel. They're talking about like Allie not being invited to Sheena's wedding. And Sheena basically tells Allie that, she likes her, but when she first started planning her wedding, or when she was getting to the nitty gritty of the wedding of like who's invited and things like that, this is her second wedding. So it's a little smaller anyways. It's destination. So it's going to be close friends, close family. And no, she didn't know James's girlfriend that well. So she didn't give her an invite to the actual wedding. She can't prevent her from coming. But she's like, Allie, you're going to be able to come to like the welcome events and the after party, but like the actual ceremony and the sit down dinner, like no. But also they mentioned, like they didn't want to hurt Raquel's feelings, and everyone was concerned with that except Lala. Lala also kind of like quipped about what like Raquel was wearing when she was going off on them, when she was like, you're a mistress, bimbo, Lala. And Lala says, she actually says that she thinks like Raquel has a script, and when she goes off that script, she like short circuits. Lala can be funny. She's like James, and Lala literally was like doing like this, and I'm like, it's true, because she didn't know what to say when she was like, you know what, Lala? Lala's like, come on, Raquel. I know you got a thought in there. I know you can do it. Oh, she got her good with that. Then Ariana invites her to tea at Lisa's house, and Sheena flashes back to last year when they had tea at Lisa's house, and Lala got in her ass about Brock not being in his kid's life. So Sheena was like, nope, I don't want any more like tea dates, whatever. And Ariana's like, it's gonna be fine. I promise you it's gonna be fine. It's just gonna be tea. No nothing major. Actually, it wasn't even about his kids. It was about the DV situation. So then the next scene, we actually have Lala, Sheena, and Brock, and they are meeting up for like a little lunch, and Brock shares with her. Well, actually, she goes and starts. Lala apologizes to Brock basically for bringing up a situation that wasn't her place to bring up. So just to refresh your memory, Brock off camera told her the real deal with his ex-wife and kids, that, you know, when he was around 19 or 20 years old, they had a very toxic relationship. It got physical. I guess several months later, a DV was put on him, and from there things spiraled. You know, he didn't pay child support. He left the country. Everything just went to hell. The kids were really, really young at the time. He had 2 kids back to back with her, and they were very young. And, you know, his ex-wife ended up, you know, getting married to someone else who those children know as their father. And I think Brock, in his shame and just whatever else, and just neglecting his responsibilities, which he absolutely shouldn't have done, just probably figured, well, they've forgotten about me. They have everything they need, you know? And so when he told Lala like all of that, and he told her, like, you know, the crux of it is like this DV situation, child support and all that, Lala brought that up on camera. To this day, Brock's ex-wife has not come forward to refute his claims. She has not come forward to confirm his story, to deny it. She hasn't trashed him. She hasn't said, this guy's over here honestly living the life while I'm back in Australia with raising our kids with someone else. She's not said anything. She doesn't want anything to do with this life. Very private. She easily, I mean, who wouldn't pick it up in a second? You know, one of these trashy little, it takes nothing for her to even just go on Reddit and do a Q&A. Ask me anything. I'm Brock's ex-wife. Ask me. And she could just list it down and just completely confirm his claims or completely like blow his ass out the water. She wants nothing to do with it. She absolutely has her children's best interest 100% at heart. And it wasn't Lala's place to bring up someone else's trauma on camera. 1,000% wasn't. But I also think this is a reality show. Brock was hiding a major secret. Sheena is presenting him to us like he's perfect, he's this. It doesn't make sense. Like, where's his kids? What's the real story? Well, the real story is, you know, there's all this heated history, you know? So they apologize though, because Lala says, you know, he's an amazing husband to Sheena. She watches him be an amazing father to Summer. And he's also become a surrogate father to Ocean. And, you know, Sheena's parents are really involved. So it's just kind of, they've become a family. And she apologizes for that. But Brock says, no, thank you for the push, because I absolutely need to get back in my kid's life. He didn't say that part, but, you know, essentially is what he's saying. And he did say that his ex-wife had messaged him, you know, something. I wish they would have gotten to more. I have listened to Sheena's podcast where they've discussed it a little bit. I've listened to Lala's where Brock actually goes into more details about it. And basically what he said several months ago, if we're to believe what he says, is that he has been in contact with his kids. He's been making amends. He's been talking with them on the phone. He's been doing FaceTimes. Apparently at the time, his son was a little bit more hesitant. His daughter was more welcoming. He also says, like, the person who's raising him, he considers that their father. These kids maybe knew they had another dad, but he's not running in there like, I'm your father, call me daddy. He's trying to take it really easy because he recognizes his ass hasn't been there. I don't think you can fault that, but what I will fault him for is to not continue to try. Those kids are always going to live over there until maybe they're older or something changes. But he can try his best to be a good father. There's probably people, maybe someone even watching this channel, who's had a parent that's lived out of the country. I know several friends who were sent here when they were little to go live with family because while their parents worked on their immigration, or they came with their dad while their mom stayed in their home country, or vice versa. So sometimes that happens, and it's not always about abandoning your kids, or, you know, sometimes it's coming to this country for the better life, you know? So I don't know. I would like a little bit more about that, but I do respect the privacy. And I think honestly, because Brock does get a lot of hate, and this is such a deep topic and such a trigger for people. I'm a mother. I couldn't imagine, you know, I think it's best handled off camera. Whatever they give us, what they give us, I think there's going to be people, if Brock does reunite with his kids and he takes pictures with them, there's going to be people who are like, oh, great. Oh, he's just doing this for cameras. Or why aren't his kids at his wedding? Well, you think the first time they see their father in 4 years should be at this damn wedding with TV cameras and everybody here and Sheena and all that? No, Like, come on, it needs to be handled privately. I also hope, I don't think it should take Lala telling him what to do. I hope Sheena is encouraging him to be a father, because if I knew that a guy I was dating hadn't seen his kid in 4 years, but I liked him, but I was like, wow, like, what is he gonna abandon? Like, I would feel like, what's gonna stop him from doing the same thing? So I would make it my mission to make that relationship as good as it can get and have him in those kids' lives. Okay, I'll move on. So honestly, I would have rather seen a little bit more than that than some of the other stuff that was on here. Let's see, they go to Lisa's at Villa Rosa. It looks amazing. I did notice a few times Raquel and Tom kind of standing next to each other. Keep in mind, in our timeline, we do believe in the timeline that the affair is actually happening now, after Guys Night, which was last week's episode. James and Lala discuss, oh wait, actually, Sheena arrives. They start singing Good as Gold, which was cute. It was a surprise bridal shower, so that was sweet. Then you see Sandoval like get all on the ground. He's got to be like the number one person. James and Lala start talking, and they start discussing Ali not being invited because of Raquel's comfort. He also jokes that he should propose there. And Lala didn't get it at first, but he was making fun about last year when Brock and Sheena like were gonna hijack his engagement party and like turn it into their surprise wedding or whatever. Then there's a scene with Raquel and Schwartz talking about the restaurant again. I'm so tired of Schwartz and Sandy's like open already. I'm so over it. James is standing right by though. He's like hovering. He's looking mad, and he's like, "Oh, how dare Schwartz flirt with Raquel right in front of me?" He calls Schwartz fat, which is like James loves fat shaming. He needs to stop. Tom is not fat. Ariana then advises that everyone was invited. Katie declined. Then you flash forward to Katie. She's at Christina's Kelly, and she's having a very adult afternoon, a really adult, calm afternoon, fertilizing some plants and just doing some very adult things. But it's not Villa Rosa, honey, having lunch on Lisa Vanderpump's dime. Katie also acknowledges that her and Schwartz's anniversary is coming up, and she feels that she wants to acknowledge it in some sort of way. I don't get that. You're getting divorced, Katie. You don't need to acknowledge it. You guys don't need to celebrate anniversary, but whatever. Then we get back to Lisa, and James is drunk and he is acting up. He's like grabbing Lisa's china. James said he thinks that Allie's the one. He wants to put some babies in her. I want to put some babies up in her. And Lala's offended. She's like, can you not talk like that? You don't say put babies up into her. It is a child. It's a human being. Have you ever heard of the way she says human being? She says, it's a human being. And she's like, you sound like a 16-year-old when you're talking. And I'm like, girl, hard stop, because you're always saying something for shock value, and you sound extremely gross when you talk about bumping peepees and all the nasty stuff you say about sex. But and then he goes, well, how hard could it be? I mean, if Brock can do it, anyone can do it. And they're like, yo, stop. We're literally at their party. And he's like, I mean, he left his kids. And it's like, yo, he dragged Brock. He wasn't wrong, but come on. Lala did say she is worried about his sobriety, but she is there to support it. She's not judging. She's just there to support him. I think she knows how this will end. And she's there to be his sober, support system. After the bridal shower, they go to Schwartz and Sandy's and they have some pizza and drinks. And, James is like kind of yelling still, and they're not open yet. And he's like, y'all ain't open yet? James also asks Sheena once again if Allie can come to the reception, if there's space, and Brock and Sheena talk about it, in front of him. They're like, fine. I also thought Brock looked really hot this episode. I'm sorry. I know some of you guys just really hate him, but I thought he looked really cute. And have you seen him recently? He cut his hair. He looks good. Anyway, Raquel and Schwartz go some sort of sound bath in the bar. She's out of it. She's whatever. Then the next scene, everyone is packing for the wedding. Yo, I'm almost done with this. This episode was like nothing. Everyone's packing for the wedding. They all arrive in Mexico. The hotel looked nice. It was Natura, Dreams Natura in, I'm not sure, not Puerto Vallarta, but somewhere. Puerto de Carmen, I think. I don't know. It looks very beautiful. Summer Moon is so freaking cute. We got several shots of her this episode. I love her. She's so cute. I noticed, though, that Tom and Ariana arrive in the same car as Raquel. She arrives with them, which, I mean, I guess realistically, she wouldn't be with Katie and Lala. So, okay, no big surprise there. But obviously, we know there's some shit going on there. they are all checking in. They're saying hi. They're getting little drinks. Lisa calls them. Oh, Kate. Oh, wait. No, Katie. Katie is there with all the guests. Sheena got her moved to a different tower though, so she's not staying in the main like hotel area with everybody. So she's got to truck her ass over there to hang out. She doesn't. I don't see her speak to Sheena. I think it's super petty. She's there. It's like you're really here involved in the mix. I don't know. Like there's all this discrepancy of, well, she had to come in order to get paid. I'm sorry, they could have filmed her back at home. Like I don't see why she came. Like whatever. It's just to be messy and to because she could and to just honestly be bitter and be mean. And you know what? That's fine. If she wants to continue to be Katie Petty, that's fine. Um, so Lisa calls Ariana and Katie with their realtor and lets them know that they got the space for something about her, and they take a celebration shot, and that was really nice. They all check into their rooms. They check into their rooms. Ariana and Tom are being really affectionate. She mentions how she just wants some time with her man, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, wow, like we just never really see the side of them where they're super affectionate and talking about like spending time together and this and that. But it's just sad because, you know, deep down, he's probably getting texts from Raquel like, oh, what are you doing? Like, are you going to be able to sneak off to my room? Like, you better not be fucking Ariana on this trip. Like, oh, like she's probably sending him pictures. She's probably like sending him little emojis. She's probably sending him things in invisible ink. Like, he's probably going to the bathroom, running the shower, talking to her. Like, yeah, Raquel, like, you know, what am I going to do? Like, I've got Ariana like right here, dude. Like, I don't know how I can get out, you know, how he talks. Whatever. It's fucking sick. I hate them. But I know it. I bet you she's like, so are you like gonna hook up with Ariana on vacation? You know, whatever. So then Raquel is actually, there's a scene with Raquel in her room and she turns on those lights. And I can't help but think she's like thinking about Tom when she has those galaxy lights on. You know, he got her those galaxy lights. Like, come on. It's probably like, when you put these lights on, like, it's our secret, like, little message to each other. Sheena's wedding dinner, welcome dinner. So you've got Lala rolling in with Christina Kelly, who is Katie's date. Now, Sheena brought up again how Christina Kelly, you know, rolled up and she talked shit about Sheena's first wedding with Stassi. And she goes, you know, I don't talk about this a lot, but they called my wedding dress a skanky quinceañera dress. And Sheena's like, you know, I'm half Mexican and I was offended because quinceañera is a very special tradition, and it is. And like, I'm gonna say it again, there is nothing wrong with a two-piece wedding dress. Do you know how many I know Indian weddings for sure, they wear the two-piece wedding dresses sometimes. And so it's like, that's a traditional, like, look for a lot of brides. So just because it's not something you would do, I just thought it was interesting. Another example of like Stassi's, you know, inappropriate comments, you know, that one of the reasons why she got canceled because of the stuff she said that she thought was cute and funny. But it's really not, to offend people's cultures and to call something that you don't understand trashy, skanky. Anyways, at dinner, you've got James and Ariana. They're getting into it because I guess one of Brock's friends was drunk. They don't show this, they didn't make it on the camera, but one of Brock's friends was drunk. What I gathered from it is his friend like rolled up on James and like kind of like picked him up from behind or, you know, did something. Anyways, James didn't like the shit and he like checked him. He checked his ass and he told, I guess he like pushed him, and I guess it became an issue and it could have been a fight, but like Ariana calmed it down and then she's like yelling at, I've never heard her really get that loud, but she's mad at James and whatever. I didn't really understand it. Brock's friends need to learn boundaries. Remember last year at the party at Sheena's, or whoever, Ariana's pool party, when like one of Brock's friends like inappropriately touched Charlie, and then now his friend is like grabbing on James Kennedy. Like, yo, keep your hands off of people. And that was it. Basically, the episode ends. And so we're going to get more in Mexico. I'm just looking for more cues and more clues of the affair. And like, if I see any little thing with Raquel and Tom, if I see any little signs. So let me know what you thought. Again, kind of a fluffer episode. Every episode's not going to be, you know, like amazing, but we know how this goes. We're almost there. I think there's like 14 or 15 episodes. We're on episode 8. So soon, gosh, seriously, we're going to get to eventually the meat and potatoes, we're gonna eventually get to this damn reunion, and the scandal of all of it all. It's gonna drop. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this recap. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe, y'all. Thank you.